What's good, y'all? It's your girl Tati. Another week, another me. Sending you guys all the love as per usual. If you are new to my channel, what is good? I'm Tatianna Tarot. I do a lot of things, including tarot divination. And every Monday or Sunday, if you're lucky, you're gonna find me giving you a tarot energy forecast on what's to come for the week, utilizing the themes of what is the theme of the week, shadows that might come through this week, and what your guides want to bless you with if you are all about spiritual guidance, right? And so I had changed the format last week because I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't aligned with giving you guys redundancy in terms of the same material in the videos. I'm really excited to be dropping more content. I really want you guys to have a little bit more of an in-depth look of my life here in Bali and just living abroad in general, and parenting and gymming and all that fun stuff. Just a little razzle dazzle on the page, okay? And I went on a rant, but including all of those themes that I mentioned, every week you will also get a pull for the oracle guidance. So I believe it is this week that I am pulling for is Monday, November 27th, all the way to Sunday, December 3rd. This is the last week of November, y'all. Can you believe it? Like 2023 is almost done. Glory be to God. Hallelujah. We are done with you. 2023 was something. I don't want to say it was rough all the way, but definitely was no smooth edges. So there's a lot. It's a lot. I feel like it just turned January the other day, and I also feel like there was 7 years in this 1 year. So I am definitely anticipating 2024 for more ease, more peace, more harmony in all of our individual lives, but also collective lives as well. So this is going to be the tarot energy forecast for this week. Please like, share, and subscribe with your friends, all right? Because everybody needs to hear this, and take notes, because I do encourage you to take notes. This information may apply for this week. It may apply for the month ahead. It may apply for the weeks ahead, okay? So bear that in mind as you're watching this information. As per usual, you can see me hitting up the regular Rider-Waite deck. I don't know if I'm going to be using this oracle deck. It is an astrology oracle deck. I forget what it's called. Chalks of Kikongo as our guidance deck by my girl, again, on Sweet Things. And the Psychic Tarot by John Holland. We're going to be using that. Wow, I can't believe that like November is here. That is wild to me. Oh my God. Okay. All right. So what we're going to be doing is just simply channeling Great Spirit. Oh, hold on. Church announcements. Church announcements. Today is Monday, November 27th. I think it's technically the full moon in Gemini. So stay easy, stay breezy, because it's really rough out there in the streets. Full moon brings up a lot of emotion, so drink tons of water, and I hope the information provided in this video today gives you some insight on what's going to go on in your life. But also, today is technically Cyber Monday, last day of my 20% off Possess Your Spirit online membership sale. If you've been wanting to dive in a little bit more deeper in your spiritual work, you want to join a community, you want to get classes on psychic development, intuitive development, ancestral veneration, and all that, that is in my Possess Your Spirit portal. We do live classes every month, and there's also the pre-recorded classes and guided meditation audio toolkits that you can download and use on the go. Really fun stuff. 20% off each month until you decide that you don't want it anymore, and then it's no longer 20% off, okay? So use the code Black Friday, all in caps, in the checkout. The code expires end of today, end of Monday, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Boom. It's done. All right, my angels. So let's get into it, Great Spirit. What is the theme for this week in general? What is it that we can anticipate or expect energetically? What is it that you will us to know for our best benefit, to best steer us in the right direction, to give us a heads up in life so we can all thrive? Great Spirit, I'm just gonna pull out one card here. Yikes! Oh, whoa. All right, it's really, we are hitting the ground running, hitting the ground falling flat. We are getting off the bat the Three of Swords. Okay, and all of my astrologers out there, you can chime in the captions, in the comments section, and give us the 411 what's going on with this full moon in Gemini. I know it is to be a little rough. I have heard that it is to be a little rough. And so we are getting the Three of Swords. Just take a moment to, I know there's a lot of light shining in on that, and I don't think that's accidental. So I do think that a lot of this is being brought up to the surface. A lot of this, the themes that deal with the Three of Swords, is being brought up to our awareness. Now, before we start talking about this on the global scale, let's start seeing what particular themes can be coming up for us independently. And the Three of Swords, when we see swords in tarot, it pertains to the mind. It pertains to the intangible realm, that which is real but cannot be touched. So the potency of our thoughts, of our ideas, of our communication, the element of air, the mental realm, the logical realm, right? And we see three swords piercing a heart and what seems to be like some sort of character here in dismay and agony on the ground, in grief. So the Three of Swords can definitely be grief. It could be trauma. It could be pain. It could be suffering. It could be lamenting something. Sorrow. Okay, all of the things that we avoid, all of the things that a lot of spiritualists and I guess TikTok and Instagram spiritualists tell you to avoid, because you are manifesting it through the law of attraction. So you must avoid pain, grief, sorrow, and suffer, because you must have brought it on to yourself. This is the very antithesis of that teaching. This and the light shining on it, as soon as I reflected it onto the camera, is saying that you cannot avoid it, that the only way through this unwanted sentiments and undesirable emotions and feelings is to let it surface, is to let it flow up, is to let it rise and escalate to the light, so it could be seen, so it could be held, so it could be embraced, so it could be understood, so that the pain can tell us, ow, I'm hurting because of this, and this is actually the root of what we need to work on, or this is stopping me from achieving X, Y, and Z, or it's stopping me from opening my heart, it's stopping me from being vulnerable and really sharing my light with the world. And we now must address it, right? We now must get to the elephant in the room in order for us to transcend this obstacle, right? And so with the Three of Swords, I mean, this could be an array of things dealing from the family, the home life, maybe situations. I mean, we're just coming out of the holidays, right? And so there could be things that are re-triggering, whether you are fortunate to have a family, or maybe you're not as privileged, or you've gone through some suffering when it comes to your family. You're not united. Your family doesn't accept you. You know, your family's very toxic or traumatic. Your family has passed away. A lot of this could be surfacing up at this time. And so the Three of Swords could be like, let's reflect on that, or let's just sit on that instead of drinking it down with extra wine and extra food and extra distraction, or socializing it away, or working it away, or buying it away, or social media it away. You know, let's sit with these heavy feelings and let these feelings communicate to us what we now need to do to best care for ourselves, and thus best show up for the world around us, right? So it could be hitting the sector of your home and your family life, could be hitting the sector of childhood memories, things that are happening maybe in your own life now in terms of your dynamic and your relation to others. Could be a very hard time to understand other people, or to relate to people, or to communicate to people, or there's a lot of discord in that, there's a lot of tension in that, there's a lot of a stress in communicating with other people who may not be, and I'm just gonna say it, like vibrationally on your level. Maybe they're just not conscious enough, and they just don't see how their own doings take a part and play a role in your sphere and your field, right? And how they may be contributing to a larger issue at hand when it comes to your relationships with them, or vice versa. You know, so this could be a time where you're really reflecting on potentially navigating how you're going to show up in relationships, and also in relationship to self. Coming to terms that some relationships just simply don't evolve. They're here as teaching tools and mechanisms to show us people's resistance to their own evolution and growth. People's aversion to humanity and empathy and understanding and compassion, right? And all of these things that are going to inform you as to how you want to show up more for yourself, maybe ways in which you want to change how you show up for yourself and how you show up for the world. Maybe makes you a little bit more tender-hearted, more loving, more open, more compassionate, more vulnerable, more communicative. Maybe it alerts you to speak up for yourself in ways that you haven't spoken up before. Maybe you're becoming more of a savage and you're starting to say no and take your power back from your family. Maybe it's a time to reflect on the ending of relationships, or to reflect on what it is that you feel you truly deserve, or what new relationships that you're now calling in on the horizon that now meet your needs and match your intelligence and your consciousness at this level, and can continue to help you on your journey of evolution. Okay, maybe sometimes the Three of Swords can also be reflecting on self-betrayal, and bearing in mind that this is a time where it's very dense and very heavy in the world in general. There's a lot of torment and a lot of disease, and there's a lot of war, and there's a lot of destruction, and there's particularly a war against women and children, and there's a war against tradition, and all sorts of chaos amassing. And so, you know, you want to be extra tender to yourself. You want to be extra compassionate, but also develop some sort of curious lens so that you can have a soft analytical approach as to how you are the way you are, why you are the way you are, and what needs to evolve now from yourself to yourself. And with the Three of Swords, it could mean, you know, maybe you're starting to feel bad that you were always a people pleaser, and you're like, oh God, I know better than that. Why did I do this? Or why do I always say yes to these bums? Or why did I let this person walk all over me? And why didn't I advocate for myself at work? And a lot of these hardships could be arising now again in the mind, because we're dealing with the realm of the swords. So it could be coming across a communication, or there could be some communications and speeches and things you hear that are particularly triggering, or perhaps you're starting to catch your own stream of thoughts and noticing how debilitating and limiting it is towards yourself. All right, and you're starting to feel bad, you're starting to feel shameful or guilty. I want you to shower yourself with extra love and grace. I want you to shower yourself with understanding. I want you to shower yourself with hope that, you know, things can get better, that things slowly will get better, that every day in every way there is a new thing that's rising for you, right? Giving us an opportunity to try again in every moment. And so I want you to remember that as you navigate. You know, the theme of this week could be very rough, right? And like I said, again, not all of this is family, career, relationships. It could be just navigating loss and grief. Maybe it doesn't necessarily have to be death, although it can be death. It could be loss of a friend. It could be a loss of a job, or a loss of an identity that you thought maybe this is something you always wanted to do, or something that was always expected to you, and now you're saying, I don't think that's even feasible. or I don't know if I want that anymore. And so what is it that I do want? Like, you could find yourself in the limbo land, not necessarily knowing what to fill up that void space with, and that's okay. So coupled with the Three of Swords, we do have the Major Arcana card of Strength. And what Strength communicates to us, here we see a young maiden taming a lion. The lion looks very ferocious. You know, as we all know, Mufasa was nobody to play with. Lion looks like the lion looks like it's about to bite the head out of this maiden, but the maiden's like really just unapologetic and calm and sweet and very nurturing and mothering. And so we do get the antidote to this grief and to this sorrow and to this density, is just to supplement it with softness, with compassion and understanding. It's like the maiden is telling the beast, the lion, I know why you're roaring. I know why you're acting this way towards me. Maybe you're fearful. Maybe you think I'm going to be your captive. Maybe you're hungry and you're just coming out this way. But I know, I understand, and I'm just going to be here with you until the emotions subside and tame down. So whether this is an activity you need to do with yourself, whether it is actively sitting with yourself or checking in with your intuition or upping your self-care, perhaps it's taking a nice soothing luxury bath, perhaps it's investing in a one-day Korean day spa, or treating yourself out to a girls' night, boys' night with your friends, a games night, you know, or taking initiative and start really daydreaming and taking a fun and soft approach into what it is that you want to invoke for 2024. And in terms of your relationship to self and other people and what you want in your life, there has to be extra sweetness. So the Strength card actually advises you to back down. It tells you here with the Three of Swords, shit's gonna fly off the roof. Maybe other people are not going to be able to control themselves. You're going to start seeing demons left and right. You're going to start seeing people's shadows because they have not been one with it. The light has not been shined on it, right? And so you and yourself are in a better predicament to be able not to lash out at yourself or other people, because you have a better understanding now through the course of each week of these videos what your emotional triggers are and what to expect, and you know, all of this stuff. So you're not kind of coming out of thin air. But a lot of people are not resourced in this way, right? And so you're starting to see that, and you're starting to see the lashing out, and you're starting to see, maybe you feel like you're more clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, just more intuitively aligned. Because you could just talk to somebody and just know this person's got trauma from this and that situation. This person's got insecurities here and da-da-da-da-da-da. It's not like you psychoanalyzing it, but maybe because you've been able to navigate your own darkness, you can see it better in other people, which should hopefully make you a better human, make you a softer, more compassionate human. I'm not saying be a pushover, be a people pleaser, and make excuses for people when they're shitty, but know that we are all wounded. We are all trying our best. And so with that said, the Strength card does not remove yourself from the equation. It says, you know, be honey onto yourself, be sweetness onto yourself. One of the quotes that I put on Twitter this week or last week was, sweetness favors me. Sweetness favors me. So just take that affirmation throughout the whole week and just really milk the sweetness that you have in your life. I know for some of us it can be very, very, very difficult and challenging to find that. And if you could become that in your own life, or maybe be that in someone else's life, because somebody else might need that extra ear, that extra time, that extra awareness, that extra sensitivity for you, that could really be an abundance of medicine for those in need. And so whatever that sweetness may look like for you, whether it is, I am going to indulge in being lazy, I'm going to indulge in doing nothing, I am going to indulge in just letting my emotions out and crying and sighing, giving myself full permission to be angry, full permission to let all of these emotions surface up, and then I'm going to go eat a cake, or I'm going to go take a walk, or I'm going to do a meditation. I'm going to integrate, I'm going to process it. I'm going to see where this comes from, and then I'm going to see what it needs, and I'm going to see how I can take the next steps in healing it, right? That is the best course of action for you. Interestingly enough, we do have the Rejoice and Celebration card also coming out. And so I do feel like this is like someone who eats too much in Thanksgiving and they're full and they don't know what to do, and it's just gonna purge. It's all gonna purge, it's all gonna come out. And I feel that in the sense of these emotions, like this is like a final push. The collective energy around the holiday season and around what's going on globally and practically every continent is just coming to a surface point. It's coming to a boiling point, and it's not accidental. It's gonna surface up so you can look at the quality of what you've been consuming and what it's trying to tell you about your life. But also embedded in that Rejoice and Celebration is that we must now train ourselves to celebrate ourselves, because we've gotten thus far. You know, really congratulate yourself. We're at the end of 2023. Congratulations, you made it. Look at the sweetness in your life. Look at the sweetness of that which you are, and engage in as much sweetness as possible, right? Engage in as much joy and rest and relaxation and relief as possible. Rejoice in celebration, celebration of self, celebration of other people. That is the medicine that is needed. And so what are the shadow sides? I know the theme of the week was very shadow oriented as is. Let's look at what Spirit has to say in terms of what is the shadow here. This week already is like we are having an intense healing session, intense clearing session. The shadow is in avoidance. The shadow is in avoidance. The Eight of Swords, someone who is deciding to, the shadow is in abandonment. Whether it is in abandonment of self, or abandonment issues, or abandoning a situation that calls to be rectified and addressed and seen and heard. It is in avoidance, it is in abandonment, it's in walking away. So these may be major themes in which you need to navigate. I'm not getting the love that I need here, or every time I try to bring up a situation with my family or friends or a partner, I don't really properly feel like I'm being seen, heard, understood, or perhaps I feel scared to confront them with my truth. Whenever we need to get into a deep conversation, I abandon myself, I walk away. So I think that is a good critical lens we can approach is, how are you potentially abandoning yourself? How are you walking away from the very things that Spirit is pulling you towards? The hard things, the dark things that we must walk through in order to come out to the other side. You know, this is a personal quest. This is giving Lord of the Rings of the self. And the ring is symbolic for your truth, I guess. And what are you going to do to protect your truth, to embody your truth, and to live your truth, right? And you have to go through a quest of people pulling you away from your truth and telling you that you're someone you're not, or trying to scare you from using your own voice, or intimidating you, or teaching you that your voice isn't important. so on and so forth, or ignoring your voice, right? How are you belittling yourself and reducing your power, or not even seeing where you have power, right? Where are you giving your power away to things of the past that no longer are in front of your face, but still very much is affecting you, right? Things that you need to just, this keeps on coming up from when I was 7 years old at my birthday party, and you said I couldn't, whatever's coming up. It needs to be, you can't just keep on walking away from it, and it doesn't serve you good to still hold on to that baggage, that baggage that's still weighing you down. It's time to let it go. And in letting it go, it comes with, a lot of what is the root, what is the fundamental feeling that I'm getting from this anger and frustration? Is it abandonment issues? Is it feeling lonely, unloved, unworthy, unheard, unseen, right? And just, this is, interestingly enough, it's like this shadow is digging a deeper hole, because you might long for a security that's not there yet. And so that security, or that solution, or that sort of cherry on top of the cake, that's going to be coming after you take your not a dangerous quest, but it is kind of challenging you to dig deeper. It's saying you're more than surface level. This thing that has been eating at you now needs to stop. You've come to the point in the game where you must face the biggest monster, okay? Because you've gone through all the little monsters over and over again, and the big monster keeps on appearing at the end of each level, just like 2 seconds, and then he disappears. Now you need to confront it. Well, we do this in baby steps. The shadow side is saying little by little, step by step, solutions will be provided. And it's not like you're doing this from a space of ungrounding. It's not like you're doing this from a space of, I'm just overtly emotional, and I don't have a full lens on what's going on. With the Knight of Pentacles, I do feel like you have assistance nearby. I do feel like a mini trip will help. And I do feel like this is a solution that's going to come little by little. It's not like boom, done. Once we're done, we're done. These emotions may linger on until 2024, but you'll have a better grasp on them. Okay, this is very much enter at your own risk. We're going on a quest. You are inheritedly safe. Will you be successful? That's contingent on you, which means, will you decide to go through this cycle of feeling the same feelings over and over and over again, and not getting the root of them, and not swimming across the river? Or are you going to, for once, dive in, confront these fishes in the water, and swim to the other side? Okay? A new person. It's like a personal baptism that's happening. And you are the only person that can get yourself through it. You've got the resources, you've got the grounding, you've got the foundation, you've got the horse to lead you across that river. You have to initiate that journey, that self-quest, that self-understanding. So whether that means you take action steps, like I'm going to, the best way for me to cope with my emotions right now and get these frustrations off is to join a dance class or join a gym. Do some writing, do some journaling, go to a therapist, go to therapy, do some EFT tapping, or go to a breathwork class. Like, there might be like some physical, actual, tangible steps that you're going to need to take that is going to help you get across the river little by little. It's not like you won't get across the next day, like 2 seconds later, but it is going to give you the resources and the support to be able to cope with what is coming up, all this stuff at the bottom of the river that hasn't been explored, and to help you rediscover the sweetness that is in your life, just in case you've forgotten what that is. right? And so let's also get into what the blessings are. What do the guides want to bless you with this week? So Great Spirit, what do the guides want to bless? Want everybody to know that they're blessed with this week. It's almost not coming out like a blessing. So this is the Nine of Swords. And the Nine of Swords can mean mental entrapment, overanalyzation, overthinking, binding, being mentally binded by a thought or a thing. Some of you guys need to cut cords. Some of you guys need to go back. Possessed Your Spirit has cord cutting meditations. YouTube has cord cutting meditations. Maybe you need a cord cutting bath. This is a time to cut cords of the past. If you're really going to do that inner Frodo work, Lord of the Rings, inner quest, resurrection, baptism work, it's like, I'm going to cut you off once and for all. Some of you may be getting memories of people. Some of you may be getting like, why am I thinking so much of this person? That person's probably thinking about you. Or they're getting cords. Or you're still attached to something in your past. So the Six of Cups is saying blast from the past. This is a card of a person, place, thing in the past, memory of the past, situation in the past. Could be a past lover that you let go of. And so what Spirit is bringing to the surface is that the worst has happened. The past is in the past. This thing that is resurrecting in your mind that keeps playing out, it's not going to happen again, but we still need to kind of go through that inner quest to analyze and break it down to its finer parts, so it no longer has a bind on us. So we are aware of what that lesson was that our soul signed up to learn, and we can process that in a healthy way so it no longer affects our nervous system negatively. So this may be saying that relationship that you were thinking about spinning the block on, don't do it. If you're thinking about rekindling a connection or talking to somebody, being the first one to reach out, unless it's like divinely fated and, you know, all of that, don't do it. Past is in the past is a blessing. The blessing has happened in terms of the separation and the release. Now the residue is lingering on, and residue energy means that yes, the situation is no longer going to repeat itself, but you want to still deal with the energy, because the energy that's resurfacing in your mind is making your neural systems believe like that the situation is repeating itself. So it doesn't matter if that person's going to spin the block or if that traumatic situation is going to happen again, because technically it kind of already is energetically. So the blessing is in your situation, even if it's some sort of misfortune, as horrible as that sounds, some sort of loss. There could be a light at the end of the tunnel, or a rainbow here, where that situation can very much turn into a massive blessing for you and a massive blessing for other people. And I know you're probably not in the right state of mind to see it. So again, you know, the best thing for you to do is to disengage from anything chaotic. Really be tender on your energy. Take those energy cord cutting baths. Take those spiritual baths. Cleanse the energy again just right before the new year. You should be just cleansing the energy in general, because it's holiday season and stuff. And I think the answer is going to arise once the emotions have been fully felt and been present. Like if you are able to be present with your emotions and just be like, hi, I'm a new friend. What is this feeling of sorrow and abandonment? Like, what are you here? What do you want to say? If you could have a mic, what would you say? What would you need right now for you to feel better? Can I help you? Do you want to be left alone? Like that sort of innocent, playful tenderness is going to be the catalyst to you receiving the gift that comes from with this fear, this self-loathing, this unworthiness, this abandonment, it's got like this big mask on, and it's really scary, and it's a big cloud. But once it gets that little sweetness, you might notice that there's like a present, a box with a bow hiding beneath it. And you open that up, and it's all this sunshine, or it's all this hidden gifts that you didn't know you needed to access, because this whole situation's been blocking you from the truth of your power, right? And so I've heard a lot of teachers and mentors have said that our gifts are often hidden deep within the depths of our shadows. And it is a reason why we should work through our shadows, for ourselves, for our own healing, for our own transformation, but for us to access the potency of our own medicine, which lies in the heart of the shadow. So think of the shadow as like a diamond in a coal, and how you need to get the coal out, chip it out to find the diamond, which is some sort of a gift, a power, something you're meant to share, something you're meant to do. Is very much giving Chiron. Okay, Chiron, right? So maybe you have this fear, maybe, you know, this is for an example, like as an inner child, you were never heard, you were never told to express yourself, you were told to shut up, or you were ignored, or you were ridiculed. Maybe you developed a stuttering problem. Maybe people never picked on you in school. The teachers thought you were dumb. You think you're dumb. So you never spoke up for yourself. You never expressed yourself. You thought yourself as an idiot. You never thought you valued your thoughts and opinions as something that were, smart and worthy of being heard and seen. And so you really diminished yourself and shun yourself down. And in your relationships, you did not speak up for yourself. And in your family, you did not speak up for yourself. And in your career, you were put to the back and you did not speak up for yourself. But all of a sudden, all of this is coming up because you feel shame, you feel guilty, you feel scared, you get triggered whenever you're trying to express your emotions, or you feel like you can't, or you feel stuck, or you feel unfulfilled, and it's coming up. And you get to the root of that, and you get to the realization that this has been going on since childhood, and you start working on those wounds. What would it feel like for me to actually have boundaries and tell people no, and to honor and value my opinions? What would it feel like to hear my own voice, to express myself? And maybe you discover that you're a freaking writer, a profound writer, or you're phenomenal at public speaking, or your story motivates hundreds and millions of other people out there in the world, or there's something that needs to be shared or created in and through you that is like the catalyst or something that has been missing in somebody's life. So that is the way in which, these little things, particularly the theme of the week, can manifest. So it's manifesting as something maybe dark and scary, triggering, but there is inherently some sort of a blessing and light at the end of the tunnel underneath it. If you are willing to locate that and work through that and be a healed new person. The healing doesn't stop. There's always layers and layers and layers of more things, because we're always trying to reach for something bigger and better. That is our evolutionary process as humans and as consciousness, right? But it gets easier. The more you do the work, the more easier it gets. Okay? So let's see what the guidance is for the week. Great Spirit. Great Spirit, what is our guidance for a week? What is it that we need to hear or know? Tethered. This is the card of the week. And it says, without the dead, there is nothing. The spirit world and the living world are tethered together. What is done here in the living realm is also done in the spirit realm. It is in the space of overlap where we are able to communicate with spirits, and spirits are able to manifest and communicate with us. Acknowledge how you engage with the spiritual dimensions on an everyday basis, consciously and unconsciously. Continue to seek wisdom from the unseen to further your understanding of the seen. Other meanings. The well-being of your spirit and the well-being of your body are interdependent. Make sure to equally tend to both. Contracts, yokings, and soul connections. In the African framework, it is believed that we commit to specific contracts prior to our incarnation. Whether those contracts include your life's purpose, people, and or certain experiences, consult with your spiritual comrades to remind you of the spiritual oaths you have taken so you may execute your commitments here on earth with fluidity and clarity, and or change them. You do that in your Akashic records. We do that in Possess Your Spirit membership. Be mindful of binding yourself to people and places. What did I talk to you guys about? Bindings. Instead, attach yourself to the mission and objective. This will focus and straighten your path. Recognize obsessive addictive behaviors. Avoid unhealthy attachments that do not serve your highest good. Dig deeper. Are your commitments to people, places, and things sanctioned from the divine, or are they bred from trauma, guilt, and shame? Are you first yoked to yourself before tethering to others? Do you do the necessary worldly work to cut toxic cords? Or do you heavily rely on the spiritual work? So it's both. You take the spiritual bath, but you also need to do the inner work. In what ways do you tend to your spirit to take care of your overall wellness? These are all hitting all the things that I mentioned this week. Self-care. How can you turn your everyday practices into spiritual rituals? This week is calling for silence. This week is begging for your attention from yourself to yourself. Okay? And as per usual, I'm always sending you guys all the love. Breathe easy this week, okay? Breathe easy. I think the best is yet to come. The best is unfolding from this week moving onward. And if you guys have resources to share, aside from Andre 3000's album, which could be very God-sent for us right now this week, if we're doing any journal promptings and stuff, or maybe journal promptings you want to share, or additional tunes, or you know, homeotherapy things, aromatherapy things, anything that can help you soothe and calm your nervous system at a time and work through the kinks, all of that, I want you to put that in the comments below. Share with your community. Again, today is Monday. If you're watching this on Monday, November 27th, it is the last day to take advantage of the 20% off Cyber Monday sale. Black Friday is the code, capital letters Black Friday, for Possess Your Spirit membership, 20% off. Link down below. Okay, I will see y'all next week. I'm sending you all the love. Mwah. Ciao.